Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was born in 1881 in Salonika, then part of the Ottoman Empire in Greece. His father, Ali Riza, was a lieutenant in a local militia, and his mother, Zubayd Hanim, came from a farming community west of Salonika. After Ali Riza's death when Mustafa was 7 years old, his mother moved to her stepbrother's farm outside Salonika. Concerned that he would not receive good education, she sent him back to Salonika, where he enrolled at a secular school with hopes for a bureaucratic career. Despite this, Mustafa took the examination for entrance to military secondary school instead. It was here that his mathematics teacher gave him the nickname Kemal, meaning the perfect one. In 1895, he progressed to the military school in Monastir, had a great career as a military officer, and went on to become recognized as the founder of the Republic of Turkey. Shortly after graduating, Ataturk was arrested for his anti-monarchist activities. After being confined for several months, he was released with the help of Riza Pasha, his former school director. Following his release, he was assigned to the Fifth Army in Damascus as a staff captain and joined a secret revolutionary society called Motherland and Liberty. On June 20, 1907, he received promotion to senior captain. On October 13, 1907, he moved to Manchester to join the headquarters of the Third Army. He then became a member of the Committee of Union and Progress. Later on in life, though, Ataturk developed an opposition to CUP leadership's policies, which led him to become well known for criticizing them often. Mustafa Kemal, alongside a group of his friends, fought in the Tobruk and Derna fronts during the war against Italy, which began in 1911. On December 22, 1911, he achieved victory over Italian forces at the Battle of Tobruk, leading to him being appointed commander-in-chief at the Derna front on March 6, 1912. Later that year, on December 1st, Ataturk arrived at Gallipoli Peninsula as part of the First Balkan War. In June 1913, during the Second Balkan War, he took part in an Ottoman army force commanded by Kamakam Enver Bey, which was successful in reclaiming Dimitoka and Edirne along with most of eastern Thrace from Bulgaria. In 1914, the Ottoman Empire joined forces with the Central Powers and entered both World War I's European and Middle Eastern theaters. During the Battle of Gallipoli, Ataturk was appointed to organize and lead the 19th Division, part of the Fifth Army. He correctly predicted where the Allies would attack and successfully held his position until they retreated, making him a frontline commander. After this battle ended in 1916, he was reassigned as commander of the 16th Quarter of the Second Army on the Russian front, which led to his promotion to general, given the title of Pasha, being one of few generals who won any victories against Russia in the Eastern Front. On the 7th of August, he rallied his troops and launched a counteroffensive in order to capture Bitlis and Muz, surprising the Russian command. After completing some short-term duties in Damascus and Aleppo, he arrived in Istanbul in 1917. On August 15, 1918, he returned to Aleppo as commander of the 7th Army, where he was successful in leading defensive battles against British forces. One day after the signing of the Armistice of Mudros on October 31, 1918, he was appointed commander of the Lightning Armies Group until its abolishment. Finally, on November 13, 1918, he came back to Istanbul and took up duty at the Ministry of War. On April 30, 1919, Mustafa Kemal Pasha was appointed inspector of the Ninth Army to reorganize and improve the remaining Ottoman military units. On May 19th, he arrived in Samsun on the Black Sea coast to initiate a war for independence. He subsequently rallied a liberation army in Anatolia and convened the Congress of Erzurum and Sivas, creating a foundation for new national efforts under his leadership. In June of that year, he released the Amasya circular warning of impending independence danger. He resigned from the Ottoman army on July 8th. Shortly afterward, an arrest warrant was issued by the Ottoman government for his anti-monarchist activities. In September of 1919, Ataturk was condemned to death. In response, he called for a congress in Sivas and issued the National Pact, which declared opposition to the Allies in Turkey. This gave him legitimacy as an authority figure, and shortly after the Ottoman Parliament election on December 19th, Ataturk remained in Ankara with a sweeping majority of votes. However, British forces dissolved the parliament on March 18, 1920, before it could adopt the National Pact. As such, Ataturk called for another national election to establish a new Turkish parliament seated in Ankara, known as the Grand National Assembly, GNA. On April 23, 1920, GNA opened with Ataturk as its speaker. He led his forces against rebels and invading armies, culminating in two major victories at İnönü in western Turkey. Because of that, on August 1922, the Grand National Assembly conferred upon Mustafa Kemal Pasha the title of Commander-in-Chief with rank of Marshal. In July 1923, the Turkish armies achieved their ultimate victory, resulting in the liberation of the Turkish mainland and the abolishment of Ottoman rule. A few weeks later, a Lausanne Treaty was signed between Turkey's national government and Great Britain, France, Greece, Italy, and other nations. On October 29th of that year, Mustafa Kemal Pasha was unanimously elected as president of the newly proclaimed Republic of Turkey, with Ankara as its capital. As leader of this new nation-state, Ataturk made sweeping reforms to bring it in line with contemporary civilizations. When the surname law was adopted, the national parliament gave him the name Ataturk, meaning Father of the Turks. He had a rich library and used to invite statesmen, scholars, and artists to dinners where they would discuss problems facing the country. On the 10th of November 1938, at 9:05 a.m., Ataturk passed away due to liver ailment at Dolmabahce Palace. His body was taken to his temporary resting place at the Ethnographical Museum in Ankara on 21st November 1938. After his mausoleum was completed, he was laid to rest permanently with a grand ceremony on 10th of November 1953. We'd love to know what you think of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Please let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed our video, please give us a like and subscribe. See you soon.